Hi, folks. Chris Voss here, coming to you with another podcast. We certainly appreciate you guys joining. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast network at chrisvosspodcastnetwork.com or thecvpn.com. You can see all the different shows we're doing. We're doing a great show today that's going to appear on the Chris Voss Show.com and also on chrisvossgamingpodcast.com. So you can catch it on either one of those channels. If you go to the chrisvosspodcastnetwork.com, you can see both of them. So we've got some really cool content talking with the PR agent for one of the game makers on Steam and a number of other platforms, I should say. And he's got some cool stuff to share with us. So welcome to the show, Albertino Rebello. How are you doing today, bud?
Hello. I'm fine. Thanks a lot.
Good. So you guys are coming to us. You guys represent one of the game makers that are out there in the marketplace that are making different games. Tell us what you're here to talk to us about today.
I want to talk to you about Nogalious, which is a video game, a retro-style 8-bit platformer, which is currently available on physical for PC and MSX, and you can also find both versions on Steam for digital download.
So Steam is a great place where you can take and test out, play with a lot of games and everything else. We have a huge gaming community, Discord, of course, that loves gaming, and of course on the Bungie.net platform, PS4, all that sort of stuff, about 60 different clans. So people love games. Games is the thing. Now, would you say that this studio is a indie studio?
Yes, absolutely. The studio is based in Madrid, Spain.
Mm-hmm.
We are a team of a programmer, I would say like a guy who takes care of social networks, another one who takes care of arts, and another one who is the actual boss, who is Raúl Nogales, who has quite a lot of businesses both in Spain, Mexico, and the United States.
So where can people go on the web to take a look at these or see them on Steam? They can, of course, look at Nogalious on Steam or search for that. But where else can they search on the .coms?
Yeah, sure. They can search directly the website of the studio, which is LUEGOLU3GO, which is as it's spelled LUEGOLU3GO.com. And there you can find all the games in physical and in digital.
So Nogalious, I've gotten a chance to play with it. We're still working on a review for it on the Chris Voss Gaming Podcast and or chrisvossgaming.com, I should say. And it's a retro-style action platformer that plays or pays homage to the era of classic 2D platforming on 8-bit personal computers. You explore 5 different worlds and go through cozy dungeons. And the first title of the trilogy that tells the story of Nogalious, his daughter Mariette, and the evil Dorama. I always hate Dorama, but this is Dove. So pretty cool. You guys released this in August 8th of 2018. It's kind of one of those cool, like you say, 8-bit style games. You know, it's funny. I grew up in the era of the beginning of computing and computer gaming. You know, we had back in my day the Commodore 64, Atari. Sometimes you just type out the code for your own games out of magazines. I lived in this world of this 8-bit world where, you know, I lived in the world where Pong was, you know, the little paddles going back and forth. That was high-end gaming as far as we were concerned back then. And it's kind of funny to me how gaming evolved into this really slick and ultra version that, you know, sometimes they take, years and almost half a decade or a decade to build a game nowadays and do these blockbuster. I mean, they're bigger than movies when they put them out. But it's interesting to see these game makers that are, and even like apps, and there's just different appeal with the millennials and the Gen Z kids that they love going back to this 8-bit world, you know. And it's kind of crazy that we've come kind of full circle. Like I spent all my life running away from these games, and now they're back.
Absolutely. Actually, our games are extremely difficult as they were before. Usually, one of the biggest criticisms that we have on Steam is that our game is so difficult that they cannot go through level 1.
Oh,
So
wow.
yes, that's the story. You have to really learn the mechanics of the game. You have to pass the game twice to see the real dungeon, the real last dungeon, and in order to do that, I think that you have to spend like over 100 hours. It's something extremely difficult.
Holy crap.
Yes, yes. Actually, we haven't been that successful with our version on Steam, but we have been quite successful with our physical version for PC. Actually, we bundle the game along with an instruction booklet and the box, which resembles to the ones that back in the 80s you could find in any kind of stores. And now with the new MSX version, we have made a complete different game. In spite of the fact that you keep the same worlds and the same spirit, the graphical style is more MSX focused, and you can see that there are different stages. I don't know if you can remember that the games on MSX were about going through proper stages. Every stage was like a screen, and once you pass that fixed screen, you went to another one. So this is something that happens with the new MSX version, which is not released yet on Steam, but it's already released on physical MSX cartridge.
Wow. So it's cartridge based and plays really cool. And yeah, it's just so funny that everything is going back to that sort of 8-bit sort of cartridge style thing. You see stuff like the Nintendo just put out a revised version of the old Nintendo stuff. Like people really like going back to their childhood, and I guess there's a certain value or certain what's the right word I'm thinking of, but a certain, I don't know. Most gamers now grew up like I did, and some from the generation just after me. They grew up in this world of these games that were not really simple, but they weren't as slickly designed. The high tech architectures that some of the big games are made today, and so they kind of have this nostalgia. That was the word I was looking for. This nostalgia for these types of games and different challenges and everything else. And of course, it's a fun, beautiful game. And looking through the artwork and the screenshots of the game, it's pretty cool. Some of the different things that are on it, and it's platformer, so you're literally running around, jumping. It reminds me of the old days of like Donkey Kong and all those other things where you're running through caves, running through areas, or Mario Brothers, etc., etc. But it's interesting. And how much does this run currently right now on Steam and MSX?
Well, on Steam, you can directly download the game, and you will soon be able to run the version for MSX on Steam.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so there, and soon we will also have a different version for the Amstrad and a different version from the Commodore. Bear in mind that long time ago, when these platforms were in the market, every version was not really a port of the game. It was like a complete different game because all the programming mechanics were different from one console or one computer to the other. So even the same kind of game is not exactly the same for other platforms because it's the graphical style, and it's not only about that, but it's more about the way you program it is completely different. So every version has its own magic, and each version will be also released on Steam, so new gamers can play it and can feel what the old days were. I must say though that the versions on Steam will never capture the magic that the physical versions do. So if you really want to play Nogalious in its own essence, you have to acquire the physical versions for each platform, I believe.
Oh, wow. It says here it's a pixel art action adventure set in a medieval themed universe with plenty of puzzles and menacing challenges. Take on the role of Nogalious and the former knight of the kingdom of Erusidir and explore 5 different worlds to save your daughter from the claws of Darama. It looks like it's got a couple good reviews on here. Jam Games Brazil gave it 10 out of 10. I can't read the language they use because it's in Brazilian. Somebody else, Gert Lush Gaming, gave it 7.4 out of 10. A great nostalgia trip. A game like this really hits you in the childhood and runs with it. That's an interesting way of saying it. A solid 2D platformer full of difficult boss battles, clever level design, and could easily see this on my TV back in the day. It gave me a smile. Well, in between all the swearing, as like I say, it's a bit difficult in places. It's a short review, and it's a very clear-cut game. It's retro-looking, plays like a retro game, and it's worth your time. From Gert Lush Gaming, according to the website here. So people like it. It sounds like, and like I say, it does kind of come back to being that cute, nostalgic sort of game from your childhood, where you had this. This was the high-tech game. In fact, usually when you saw games like this, you had to put a quarter in the machine to play them on like an arcade style thing at an arcade playhouse that you would go to, and they'd have all, Pac-Man and all the different arcade games there for you.
Yes, absolutely. We wanted to bring this nostalgia back to gamers nowadays, because we believe that the gaming was something different back in the 80s.
Yeah, definitely. And I think like I said, a lot of gamers grew up with all the different variances, and, the different consoles, the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, the Pro, Xbox, et cetera. Everyone's seen all the things. In fact, some of the games remind me. I used to be a big Doom player back in the day when Doom was like the game. It was so revolutionary in its time. And so a lot of these games remind me of Doom sometimes. In fact, one of the other I think artists or studios are going to recommend. I think it's Rush. I got a chance to play with that, and we're working on a review on that as well, and a lot of fun. So these games are cool to kind of go back on. Now, I guess we're going to be giving away some codes for the games on our Twitch channel. So go to twitch.tv/Chris Voss. That's twitch.tv/Chris Voss. And leave a comment there, friend the show, all that sort of good stuff. And when we get a chance to have access to this, we'll be streaming it on the Twitch channel. But go ahead and follow the channel there. We'll be watching who falls today and be randomly giving out a couple codes or whatever we get from you guys to take and share those and get some people having some fun with the games. How's that sound?
That sounds very, very cool. I will give you some codes so you can give them to your audience. I will give you some codes on Steam of the PC version. We still don't have the key codes for the MSX, but I will grant you some codes once we have them. The game will be released on the 28th of February on Steam. It's already released on MSX, and this version is something that I also would like to give key codes to you, but at the moment, just for the version on PC.
Well, that gets released. We'll release them on the Twitch channel. So go to twitch.tv/Chris Voss, my name. You can find me or Google me there. You can also Google Chris Voss Gaming, chrisvossgaming.com. You can find all that data, Chris Voss Podcast as well. Anything else we need to know about the game before we go?
Well, the game will feature what we call the LUEGOLU3GO Play Game Services, which is a platform where you can register leaderboards, scores, payments, and information from both online and offline software. To do that, you can download the LGPS reader on Android devices, and this will allow you to go online with a physical game for a retro platform. So this is a nice feature that we are quite sure that everybody will love.
So is it going to make it so that you can play the game on your phone?
No, not exactly. It's not exactly like that. You just have to point your mobile phone to the screen. You scan the code with the LPGS reader, and it will be automatically detected. So no need to press buttons and no anything, and your score will go directly to an online leaderboard, so you can share it with other people.
That's awesome. So give us the websites for people to check this out one more time so people can go to them.
Yeah, sure. The website is LUEGOLU3GO, which is spelled LUEGOLU3GO.com.
Or you can search in Steam for Nogalious. It's up there right now, and you can take in. I believe you can buy it now. It looks like the Steam version that's currently out right now is $9.99, which is a pretty good deal. And you can add the DLC for $2.99, it looks like, and all that good stuff. And we'll be, of course, doing a review on the Chris Voss game, chrisvossgaming.com, so you can check for it there, say what we thought about the game and how fun it was and all that sort of good stuff. So anyway, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the twitch.tv/Chris Voss. And like I said, we'll be giving away codes this week to everyone who subscribes over there. And of course, if you see me gaming on Twitch today or this week, be sure to give us a shout out and say hello. Anyway, thanks for coming on the show. We certainly appreciate you guys coming by, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks, Albertino.
Okay, thanks to you. Thanks a lot. You're welcome.
All right, bye-bye.